Welcome back to our 14th episode. And I'm one of your hosts, Shanti.
This is Evelyn.
This is Isis. What's good? Thank you for joining us. We're now in our training bra stage. We really wanted to come to you today to talk about something that's been really near and dear to our heart. This bill, SB 1718. What the is going on with Florida? You feel me?
Exactly.
Shanti, do you want to talk a little bit about what this bill's about?
Well, from my understanding, this bill is basically they're cracking down on illegal immigration. So basically, if you're a company that has more than 25 employees, you're going to have your employees run through a system where they verify if they are citizens. And if they're not only is that, immigrant going to get punished, but so is the company. The company's going to go through a fine and it's like going to be like a federal charge. So it's getting pretty serious, and it's going to start in July 1st. That's when the bill would go into work in effect. Yes. And
there's another part too about it being a felony. So like, let's say I'm undocumented and I'm driving in a car, or if you're undocumented and you have a license that's not from Florida, immediately invalid. If you are with someone who you know that is in your proximity, or you're with them and they're undocumented and have knowledge of, or you should have knowledge of, that's a felony. So you and that individual will be punished criminally. And then you were mentioning something about a hospital.
Yeah. So, if you know about immigration, you know that you can go to a hospital and they'll help you. Like your citizen status does not matter. Mm-hmm. But now they want hospitals to ask the patients if they're, legal or not, to, I don't know if they're trying to get data or what, but it's just getting a little scary, because I feel like immigrants, like, they literally are the backbone of the United States. Like, they keep this economy going. They feed us. They do all that work that realistically citizens,
they're not doing.
They don't want to do. I literally saw a video of, once that bill, like, went into effect, because it haven't gone into effect, but once it was made known that it was going to, once it was passed, this guy went to a place where, like, an work agency.
Yeah, an unemployment office.
Literally, yes, he went up to those people and he asked them, hey, do you guys want to work at a farm and milk a cow for, I think it was like 15 or 16 bucks. Literally, every person there said no. And it wasn't until it was like, I think like a Latino immigrant that he asked, and he's like, he was all for it. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just to show, like, dude, you say they're here taking our jobs. No, they're not. Sadly, they're doing the jobs that, like, we don't want to do for not the same pay that they should. So I don't know what he was thinking trying to pass this bill. I don't know if he was trying to make his homies look cool, or like, or had a political agenda.
It's a political agenda, because he wants to differentiate between him and Trump, and they're both extreme, but he wants to be the farthest rightist extreme.
Yeah.
And he wants to be able to be like, I passed XYZ. And it's funny because after it was passed, some of the legislators, some Cuban lady and some white man, came together to meet with their donors, because their donors are like, what the are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys doing this? This is hindering our workforce. Like, why would you pass this bill? And they're like, oh, no, don't worry about it. It was actually not, like, it's not supposed to be in effect. It's not going to actually make any effect.
Because it's backfiring. It's backfiring on a lot of farmers as they see that their employees are leaving, and they're leaving to different states like Georgia, etc. They're saying, okay, who do we have left? Who wants these jobs, actually?
Yeah.
It's really sad, because at the end of the day, in Florida, 1 in 5 workers are undocumented, and legislators are not really thinking about their constituency, right? Because just because one person's undocumented doesn't mean that they don't live in a household of people who are either citizens or residents. And it's just crazy. I know you had mentioned about...
I know Florida is also the 4th state with the most immigrants,
crazy. Which
is pretty big as well. And considering Florida, it's right next to Cuba and all those other countries. But no, I was reading from Ron DeSantis. I want to know your thoughts on these. He said, you can't build a strong economy based on illegality. And I know you mentioned, like, they make a lot of the work that we do now because of them, right?
Yeah. I just feel like when you try to, like, explain why you're doing something, it's like, oh, it's because it's the law. It's the law. Historically speaking, the law has not always been morally correct. Like, we have had slavery, and that was a law. We have had where we got Japanese people to go to a camp. That was the law. when you look back, you realize how unethical these laws were. And I feel like it's just history repeating itself. We're going to look back and be like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, all for an agenda, all to look cool to your homies. Like, fuck the Florida people, I guess, because it's not only going to affect immigrants, it's affecting the economy. It's like a domino effect. It's going to start affecting all the people of Florida. And you already have farmers begging immigrants not to leave and telling them, like, no, it's not that serious, not that serious. But it's like, no, I feel like a lot of people just realize, like, I'm tired of y'all playing with us when we have a lot of value. So we're going to show you. And I feel like, I hope that's the silver lining in all this, is that people start to wake up and realize the power and the value of these people. You know, like, they're not just here being criminals. They're not just here trying to, you know, feed off the government, because most of the time they can't even get those benefits. Even though they pay taxes.
They cannot get access to any welfare benefits if they are not a resident or citizenship. Like, let's make that very clear. Additionally to that, white people make up 1/3 of the recipients of such welfare programs. So to say welfare queens are Black people and Latinos, categorically false.
Exactly.
I was hearing one of the legislators say that the immigrants have been there for more than 5 years. More than 5 years with no criminal record. They're able to stay, but they do have to pay $700 a year for 7 years, which sums up to $5,000, which will go to border security. So at the end, there's never a really win-win here.
They would need to pass a bill to revoke that policy in order for that to go into effect. I just think it's crazy when I saw the news, and you saw some of the people respond, like, on the internet or make comments, and the response from Cuban people. For me, Cubans are the whitest of all Hispanics. Why? Because they truly believe that they are superior to the rest of the Hispanic and immigrant community, because fortunately for them, they do not have to go through the same immigration process as do the majority of immigrants coming in. During Lyndon B. Johnson's presidency, he signed the Cuban Adjustment Act, which permitted all Cubans to have access to 10-year permanent residency after 1 year and 1 day of being in the United States. What does that mean? It means it allows them to access to such as welfare. It gave them opportunities to be in government jobs. It allowed them to create generational wealth, and
it just gave them freedom.
And to give freedom, you know, and all they had to do, not have a bad criminal history and just have good merit. So it's like, all immigration is not the same. Immigration policies is all political, and it'll all be dependent on the political relationship established between the United States and said country. Additionally, Bill Clinton signed the wet foot, dry foot policy, which allowed Cubans, so long as they landed on American soil, they were allowed to gain from the Cuban Adjustment Act and apply for residency after a year and a day. And currently now, Biden is still serving these individuals. What is he allowing? He's allowing them to now fly in from a plane and be sponsored by a family member. What? Based on good merit. Meanwhile, you could be an Indian and be educated and have a bachelor's, a master's degree, and you have to wait over 10 to 15 years because there's congressional quotas that will not allow more than 30,000 or X amount of Indians to come into this country and get residency or citizenship.
And it's all in the name of communism, honestly. It's just because...
And racism.
But that's why...
And political agenda.
Exactly. But Cubanos, they literally are... One of the reasons why they're to the right is because they're so against communism and socialism and all that. And it's just like, bro, calm the fuck down. Like, we're not Cuba, okay? And that's actually an... what is it? Like a... authoritative regimen? Yes, like... A lot of like communist countries,
authoritarian regimens.
Exactly. They're more authoritarian. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm not a communist. I would say I'm more of a socialist, you know? But, yeah, like, I just feel like Cubanos, they are so out of touch. They're out of touch with their people as far as like Latinos, like, and they're the first ones to talk shit and say, why don't everybody just do it legally? I did it legally. Why can't they do it legally? Why they gotta cross illegally? And it's just like, it's rich coming from you, you know? Because it's
legal
like,
where?
Exactly. It's like, we don't have it as easy as y'all. Like, we do gotta flee I mean, I'm not saying we, but you know,
Yeah,
our
our
people,
people.
they gotta go.
Yes.
Like, if you see what's happening,
Speak the truth.
and you know, El Salvador is finally getting better, but even in El Salvador, like, people were always getting death threats. Imagine you having your kids and you're not safe in your own home. You're always getting death threats. What are you gonna do? You can either die there or die trying. You know, die trying to have a better life. And that's what people from here in the United States, they're privileged. They don't understand that. They don't understand that scarcity, or like the unsettledness of like, bro, I can literally get killed, and my government, are they gonna do something about it? Who the fuck knows? You know, so it's just a struggle. And I feel like Cubanos, like I said, they're so out of touch with the Latino community. They think they're up here because they were given some privileges. And you know, I honestly hope that they regret voting for that man, especially when this shit goes into effect, because their economy is just gonna go down. Like,
I hope their economy does go down. And even to your
Yeah.
point, when we look at like Central Americans, Mexicans, South Americans, why do they flee here? A lot of the reasons why they're fleeing their country is due to American imperialism.
exactly.
And that's for another topic, because I could definitely go off. But why do you expect people not to come here when you created problems in their countries, when you put dictatorships, when you're controlling, when it's a puppet regimen where you are controlling and pulling all of the strings? So where else are they gonna go? If you cause a problem and I come here because now you're fucking up my country, what do you expect? You know,
Exactly.
all of us come from immigrant, backgrounds. Evelyn, what do you think, or how do you feel, being a daughter of an immigrant father, and what is your parents' experience, and how do you think that they, as an immigrants, have helped make America a better place?
I think starting with my dad, since he came from Mexico, he was a trucker. The very first thing he did was like, actually, the very first thing my dad did was just like get, like any other person, just find a job on the side. But he realized that trucking is gonna help him get more money. But with that, he started making friends with the top line people and saying like, they started loving his work ethic, and they're like, okay, we want you. So every time he wouldn't be able to, like, no, why not? Like, it made me think like, if they would have kicked my dad out at an early age, I know the people in those businesses would have struggled. So I definitely feel like my dad made a huge impact in his work ethic. And my dad's a great person. Every time he goes around, he does nothing bad. He's not a disturb. He feels like he's a disturb sometimes because people feel entitled and they make him and look at him in a certain way that he's lower or a minority, because inferior because of his color of his skin. But yeah, I feel like coming from immigrant parents, it shows their hard work ethic, that they don't give up, and they are all here for that American dream that doesn't really feel like the American dream because so many people have disappointed them.
Exactly. They come here for a better life. Like, and I see that time and time again. Like, I have family members that have a business, they created jobs, and they can't even own their own house though because they don't have papers. You know, they can't go visit back their hometown because they don't have papers. Like, they have to look at their, like, watch their bag because they don't have papers. Even though they're not doing anything wrong, they're doing what the government wants them to do, which is work and provide jobs and just make a good impact in this economy. So it's like a slap in the face when you hear like just constant belittle of immigrants. And it's like, wow, like that's what makes the United States special, is the diversity, is like
A melting pot.
It's literally the immigrants. Like, that's literally what makes it special. Like, everyone here is an immigrant, unless you're a Native American. You know, like, I mean, everyone's an immigrant. So it's like, why not embrace it? Why not say yes? Like, United States is a big motherfucking country as far as land. Like, we're huge. Like, we have room for more people, you know? Like, and if we were to allocate our money better and not just let it all go to the military, trust me, we would have better programs and better ways to help the other problems that we face, you know, like immigration, education, or healthcare. Like, all these places, we have the funds. It's just majority of our funds are going to the military because we want to look like badasses to the world, and that's what we care more about than advancing or investing in our people, you know? So I feel like when people start realizing what the motherfucking issue is and why we are the richest country, but we live like not the richest country, why we don't have healthcare, it's not because we don't have the money. It's just because our money is not going in the right direction. And what's sad is literally the military failed 5 audits 5 years in a row. That's concerning.
Oh, like trillions of dollars. Let's make that clear. Trillions with a T, like titties.
Exactly. That's concerning. As a citizen, bro, I'm pressed.
Where's my money?
Exactly.
You're
Y'all
saying-
take so much money every fucking paycheck. I literally makes me want to cry. I'm like, damn, if I had those
If
hundreds
only I
of
really
dollars
made
more.
what I signed on the line, the dotted line.
Yes, like it's just like a slap in the face. Like, damn, dude. So I'm paying all this in taxes, and I still gotta pay for fucking healthcare. I still gotta pay for all these things. It's like, damn, dude. Like, you know, it's just a struggle. It's like right now to be United States, like everything's so damn expensive. Like taxes, I feel like went up. Like, I don't know. Like shit's just getting crazy. I hope that the people start waking up and start realizing like who's the real problem here, because it's not really even like a race thing, to be honest. It's a class thing. Like it really is, because I'll be honest, once Latinos start getting some money, they turn Republican and they forget where they came from.
There comes the white supremacy.
Exactly. Like they think they're one of them, and it's like, I'm sorry, but you're never gonna be one of them. You know, if you have a Latino last name, even if you look white, like you're not gonna be one of them. So I think that we need to start working together. I know I'm dreaming right now by saying that, but I really hope that we reach a moment or a place where maybe it'll be the next generation where people get more educated and it's really start being more fearless and brave and just like fed up, you know. But you know, that's just me wishful thinking, but I'm just so tired. Like it's just, I see all these problems and it's like, damn, dude, we can fix them, but greed literally is just.
I think adding on to that, I'm not very political, but when I hear points like that and laws that come like that, it encourages me to get more involved and to make an impact with my vote. You know, I hear stuff like that and I think about my parents. Sometimes I don't put myself in that situation because I'm personally not in that situation and I'm focused on my mode, like my work mode or whatever. But then I'm like, what if my mom and dad were in that current situation right now? What would I do about it? Yeah. So it encourages me to learn more about this stuff all the time.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, I think what Chantel's saying, I say ultimately at the end of the day, you need to vote. Like, it's good, you know, I totally agree with your point, Chantel, but you need to vote. Why is DeSantis there? Because people voted, you know, and think about it. In Florida, they're banning books, don't say gay, you know, not allowing medical care for transgender individuals. I think when we look at it, the subjugation and exploitation of marginalized groups is intentional. When you allow one marginalized groups to be picked on, to be exploited, to be banned, you're opening the door for more things, you know, banning books. Why are teachers being fired because they're bringing in a little Disney movie? I just think it's crazy. Like, there's just so many things that are tied to it, and it's all at the end of the day a political agenda. They want you to be dumb. They want you to be ignorant. They want you to be uneducated. Why? Because then you're going to be eating up all the conspiracy theories and all the bullshit that you see online, because you're not going to do the research. You're not allowed to critically think. You're not thinking for yourself. You're thinking of whatever I'm being fed. Oh, it's true. Even what we're saying, I implore you to please go ahead and research and do the work. Like, this country was built off the backs of what? Free labor. First it was Native Americans, then it was, you know, enslaved Africans, and now it continues to be on, you know, people who are coming to this country and continue to be exploited. You know, my mom, when she came to this country, she was picking grapes. She was picking cotton. She was actually able to be a citizen, thankfully, under 1 year because of, again, a policy that allowed, if you were a farm worker and you were here in this country for about a year, you were able to get papers. So again, these are all policies. Like you said, legality has nothing to do with morality, because like you said, Chantel, historically, we have done things that are immoral, inhumane. We talk about, we talk about terrorist groups, right? Al-Qaeda. I'm not going to say ISIS because, you know, that ain't got nothing to do with me, you know, but Al-Qaeda, where did they get these weapons? America. So it's just like, just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right. And just because it's right doesn't mean it'll be legal.
And I know what's crazy, like I actually learned this in university, but a lot of countries in Central America, Guatemala, Mexico, El Salvador, they've had leaders that try to do good for their country and try to kill the corruption and try to be more socialist and pass programs. Because if you know about Latin America, not all, but they lack a lot of help for their people. Absolutely. Like if you go to Mexico, they don't really have programs like we have here. You're gonna see kids in the street poor asking.
The president doesn't even actually rule the country. Sometimes it's like
the narcos. Like they have them, you know, by the balls. And so, you know, yes, we have programs here and everything, but like how I just mentioned, like they don't get nothing from that, and they pay taxes. They get a VIN number and they pay taxes. When they go buy a product, they pay taxes. So when people say they don't pay taxes and they reap the benefit, that's the biggest myth ever. Like, stop watching Fox News, please.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that earlier when you were saying we get fed off of things. Fox 11 News. People see it and hear it, and they're like, that's the word they share. Oh, did you see the news?
They think it's news, and it's not. It's entertainment.
Anything.
It's
Fox 11 News is the number one news that has like the most.
It's the number one fake news. That's the only thing that I'll pull Trump on.
Which is sad because it's connected to the sports, and that's why like all these sports dudes believe these stuff, because after they're done watching their Dodgers or their Lakers or whatever's on Fox, like straight goes to the news, and it's like what the fuck. But back to my point about like these leaders that wanted to make a difference in their country. You know who killed them?
America.
United States fucking killed them.
Military coups under Obama 2009 in Honduras.
And their reason is, because we're against socialism. We're against communism.
Fake.
It's just sad. And people ate that up during that time. They really believe that. Like communism, socialism, the enemy. And while these people were just trying to help their people. So, you know, I'm proud of Mexico. I feel like they have a president that's putting his foot down, and you know, from what I hear, from what I read, Mexico's economy is going good, that it's even slowed down, like Mexicans trying to cross the border. But yes, like I just want to see more of that. I see that in Salvador, el president, you know, what he's doing, can it be considered inhumane? Yes, but have they been very inhumane, the people?
America dropped bombs on Syria every 8 minutes. So next.
Exactly. Like we think
under
our
Obama
shit don't stink.
So it's not Republican, Democrats, all of them.
Yes, it's a United States. Like it's a power thing. It's a power complex, the power superiority that we have, and that's why majority of our taxes like go to the military. And it's sad. It's like, dude, like when are they gonna start investing in us? When are they gonna start caring about us and our mental health and our quality of life? Because it's getting to a point where I do feel like, you know, Americans are waking up, and all over America, all central, everyone's starting to realize like the bullshit, like how easy it can really be, but how hard we make it.
And even to your point, like if we want to talk about something that's current, you know, it's like I said, 2009, there was a military coup and removed the Hondureño president. But currently right now, Mexico nationalized lithium because I think there's 800 billion or trillion, I believe it's 800 billion dollars worth of lithium that was found, and that could generate a whole new industry, you know, and could make Mexico a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Texas lawmakers and lawmakers in Washington, D.C., such as Ted Cruz, are calling for America to go in and claim narcos as terrorists, and that they have that right because now they're trying to better the world from these terrorist attacks, aka the cartels. But that's under the guise in order to privatize lithium so that American corporations can make billions, and again, once again, exploit natural resources
from other countries.
Like
they're basically pressed because, you know, he's holding his ground. He's saying, nah, this is going to stay with Mexico because, you know, presidents in the past have sold Mexico's resources to United States or to foreign, you know, investors. And we lose a lot off of it. Mexico loses a lot of money. But I'm glad this president is saying, nope, I'm putting my people first. And like I said, I'm just happy. I hope that he keeps doing it because I really want to see Mexico succeed. Like, you know, I really love my country and I know the beauty and the quality of life that it offers. But it is sad when I go and I see so much poverty and I see little kids in the streets, and I'm just like, damn, dude, like, you know, like it's like a hate and love relationship with narcos. And if you're Mexico, you understand because they do good, but they do so much bad at the same time.
Evelyn, you're from Sinaloa, and I don't want to generalize.
Someone's being stereotyped. No, my uncle is not a freaking cartel.
But I'm sorry, your uncle's
and yes,
uncle.
he's locked up right now. Why? I'm just
No, but you know, I know you go to Mexico a lot. Have you seen those things where you've seen like, oh, and narcos have control of a certain part, or
yeah, I remember once I saw
like
a chopped head on top of the liquor store I was eating.
Hey, all casual. Yeah,
wow, I did not expecting that.
I'm kidding. No. I mean, there's been a lot of like lockdowns and stuff. Thankfully, thank God, I don't experience it while I'm there. But I do always see like on the news and when things are happening, like shootings at a random park, and everyone's like running. They do have a lot of power though of the society there, However, I will say, like you said, they do benefit a lot, and they protect. Like if they have a little village, they're gonna protect those people. But why? Because they also put those people in danger. So I don't know if it's really like
it's not ultimately, but like you're saying, it's not all true, right? Like when we
it's not all true. No. I have family members that have been involved in that stuff, but their intentions are never bad. Like, oh, I'm gonna f him up, or like he better not mess with my family. He's more like, I'm here to protect and love. Like if something gets near what I love, then I will attack. But it's just like an animal. Or like a human, if someone messes with something that you love, you're gonna attack. You're gonna say something, and you're not gonna let it like take control of that. But I do not believe what the news say. Cartel is bad, but it doesn't consume all of Mexico. It does not represent Mexico. We have a lot of great things. We have our cultural. Have you seen the movie Coco? That's us. Shoot, like we got
like, Carlo?
Yeah, we have Tio Carlos. We have
all right, in Honduras too, right? They have El Indio Lempira, Baleadas,
yeah, Dia de los Muertos. Like we have a lot of great holidays that we celebrate together. It doesn't represent us. That's not who we are. So when you see an illegal come to your country and say, don't say, oh, he's gonna steal, he's gonna take my job. That's not what we do. We come with good intentions to do an impact in the world and do an impact for the people around us and that we love.
And better their life.
Right.
They come here for a better life. Well, they think they're gonna have a better quality of life, and that's not always the case.
Are you really illegal in a country that was taken and was conquered and and killed nearly and created a genocide for the people who are true to this country? No, you can never.
Why don't we get the same things as Cuba since they took our land? This was all Mexico. Like, what the fuck, Like, that's what the part that trips me out the most is like when people complain and it's like, bro, this was our country. Like all of literally a big part of Texas. Like I think even to Colorado. Like all of this.
The Louisiana Purchase is what allowed America to be this expansive at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So stop being racist. Be nicer to people, and
we're all one. We're all humans. We all have the same goal. We're all trying to better our lives. Like, so don't be quick to judge people. Like,
inform yourself and give other people grace, because you don't realize that there's policies in place that intentionally are meant to discriminate and pit us against one another. And immigrants matter. Currently, they are the backbone, but we also need to realize that exploitation is very much a part of American history. Yeah. And so we're no better just because we have documentation. We're just given the rights that should be to all humans. Period.
And to end that point, do your research, because that's how you're going to learn more. So thank you guys for watching. We were glad you joined us. And don't forget to subscribe if you like us. If you don't like us, hit that like button, though. Whoa. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.